Right, these are the Golf GTE modules. The previous two batteries I picked up as whole batteries that I had to disassemble, whereas this time I've got just the modules, and so each one of these, there's 12 cells in series, and has a BMS board under this cover. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blah blah blah, 12 cells. Turn that way. So one of the problems, and I believe that this is well, I was told that VW did a recall on these, and the insulation here can break down quite easily, and as I'll show you, if you look at the multimeter, I'm put that on the positive side there, and just on the bottom of one of the cells, you can see there's a voltage. Now, the problem is, if it breaks in there, and the bottom of these cells touches the casing, and then that's obviously strapped to the car body, you will have loss of isolation, in that the car body's negative will be connected to the bottom of one of these cells, which you most certainly do not want. So before I put these in the car, what I'm planning on doing is I've got these plastic sheets, and I can just about squeeze them under there. So if I do that on each one, wiggle that under there, and also put a bit of tape across every bit of plastic there. And that one's really showing, that one shows it better. Can't quite get it. Like that. Put a bit of tape across there as well. Hopefully when we fit them in the car. Oh, another one there. You can prevent the loss of isolation. Yeah, so I think that this is potentially, possibly the reason that someone on the Open Inverter forum that has these modules as a leaf extender pack is having problems charging, rapid charging, because it does an isolation check, and yeah, so if you've got an isolation fault, you're not going to be able to rapid charge, which I clearly want to avoid. So yeah, so I'm going to do that first before we start stopping them into some way of putting them in the car. Probably going to put them in the boot first, just to check everything's alright with them, strap them down, and then work out where they're going to go. Right, next up, we've got all the modules. I've done the insulation on the bottom, and because these are from different packs, what I'm now going to do is, some of them are at different states of charge, so I'm just going to use this thing to discharge. These are at 3.9, 4 volts per cell. These are mostly at 3.6-ish, so I'm just going to hook up each one of these individually using this, discharge down to 3.6 volts. So let's switch it on. Try and remember how to do this. LiPo storage. I'm going to go to 3.7 volts. So then pretty much just, so I think this one's the most negative, that one's positive. See, 3.9 volts. So I'm just gonna negative on there. Positive on there. and just set that off. Just bring it down slowly. I probably won't go straight to 3.7 on this one cell. Probably bring each one down by 0.1 of a volt at a time, or something like that. We'll see. But there we go. That's what we're doing next. Right. This took a lot longer than I would have hoped. I had a few problems with the modules. So one of them had 3 dead cells, so the cells were 0 voltage. So Dom swapped me that for another one, which was good. And then I made a bit of a mess up and ended up with 2 of the same ID. So plan is, well, what I've got working now is I have a cam bridge just there, so that changes. It's just this one connected to that, and it changes its ID to number 2, so it goes in between that and the rest of the pack. What else have we got? So I just made up this low voltage wiring loom for all the cam messages to all the others. Going to need another one of these to change the entire stacks IDs out of the range of the other 2 packs. So look, I've been making these, the high voltage wiring, it's all on there with some bolts, so it's just double insulated. Screw on there, another one there, and round the other side. I'm going to be using these. Came from one of my other 2 packs. Yeah, that I didn't use, so those go around the other side. I'm not putting them in yet, otherwise to keep the voltage a bit lower while it's sat here. So yeah, just need the 12 volt ground, can high and can low, and that pack can connect. I'll need to make some BMS changes for a 3rd pack. I've also been just making this little bracket there. Just going to bolt them down in the boot for now. Not entirely sure what I'm going to finally do with them, but I'm just going to bolt down the entire pack like that. Put a plastic cover over the top of it. So that's what we're currently doing. Currently where we are. So I guess next up will be finishing a bit of this high voltage wiring and trimming off these, and then getting someone to give me a hand lifting it into the boot, or taking it apart and assembling it back in the boot, depending on yeah, whether I can get me bothered with that. So there, that's where we are. Just to wrap up this battery upgrade video, then I've done maybe 500-600 miles now, 500 miles now on the 3 packs, and reasonably happy with it. The range is good. I'd estimate it's going to be over 80 miles this time of year. Get about 1.4 miles per amp hour, and I've estimated I've got about 69 amp hour usable, and that sort of seems to tally as I'm driving around at the state of charge and the minimum cell voltage is sort of showing me it's there or thereabouts. I could probably get a little bit more out of it, but I don't really need to most days. Just get out of here. So yeah, all in all, what have I got now? I've got about 26 point something kilowatt hours. That's total, so the usable, I'm not sure, 24 maybe? 22? I don't know. Ideally, I'd love to get a 4th pack in, but that's probably not going to happen. There's no space whatsoever left over. I think the weight wise I'll be pushing it a bit. in another battery pack. So I think that is it for this car. The other thing, the delta, so the difference between the min and max cell voltage is, well, I don't know if it's good or not, but sort of tends to hover around the 40-45 millivolt range. Obviously it changes depending on the state of charge. It does go quite high sometimes when I'm particularly low. I think it gets up to about 90 at the lower end, so I've probably got 1 or 2 cells that sort of reduce my usable capacity a bit. It is what it is. I think that was the case anyway, just with 2 packs, so I think it was my second pack that has a weak cell. But anyway, still got a massive increase in range, so happy there. So I will leave it at that, I think. And we'll call it done. So thanks for watching. We'll see what the next video holds, which I don't know what it's going to be yet. Thinking about moving the front battery pack to try and get the condenser in for air conditioning, or possibly I do want to start another project, a bigger car, but we will see. We'll see. So I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching.